I had called Demi ahead of time asking if it was okay because I knew that that was a sensitive and very private sexual innuendo between their relationship. It's obviously still hard to talk about.
So it is the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives catch-up time, and particularly we're going to be talking about Whitney. Whitney has come back and she went on a podcast called The Squeeze, which features the Lautners. I still can't get over the fact that they're both called Taylor. I can't get over that. He'll always just remind me of Twilight, I'm going to be completely honest. She went on The Squeeze and there's some things that she said on that podcast which will either leave people actually wanting to side with her. So we do actually have people who are now turning on Demi and turning on the other people because they're now believing what Whitney is saying. We have other people who are still extremely skeptical, and I just want to break down some little bits that I have noticed along the way of watching this show. She was very convincing, but I do definitely have some things that I'm still just not wholly convinced about. If you are confused about what I'm talking about a TV show which follows the lives of these Mormon, ex-Mormon women, and it's a reality TV show, and I've done a little breakdown of it, which I will leave linked up here in the description box. Whitney was the villain of the series. If you were to ask me who I thought was the villain, I'd actually say Zach, who is Jen's controlling, narcissistic husband. However, people are very quick to kind of go, Whitney, because Whitney did do some things that I'm going to highlight once again. I'm just not totally buying what she's selling. So she's now pretty much begged to come on The Squeeze, because even the Lautners were just like, we were kind of thinking about saying no because we don't really want to do topics for clicks and views.
We were initially talking to your team about this. My gut reaction was to say no. The integrity of our podcast, and it is a mental health podcast. We don't like doing things for a headline, for clickbait.
Whatever Whitney said was very convincing, because I guarantee you she was trying to get a slot on someone's podcast because she's trying to do a redemption arc and basically tell us what we all think is wrong, because that isn't the way that it went down. Always fighting and bickering, it's just not good for protecting your peace. Keep some things private, alright? Maybe everyone could learn a little lesson from keeping some things private. Which leads me on to the sponsor of today's video, Surfshark, a must-have VPN for your family. So a VPN, or virtual private network, acts as your personal invisibility shield for the online world. It protects you from snoopers and trackers by encrypting your online activity. Think of this like scrambling and hiding away little virtual pieces of you so that you have privacy and protection online. Surfshark develops humanized privacy and security solutions to protect your data and privacy, meaning you are able to freely explore the internet with the peace of mind knowing you won't be bugged by any army of unwanted ads and malware. I personally have loved using Surfshark because it means that I'm able to save money on flights and trips whilst traveling abroad. I'm actually heading over to the USA pretty soon. I made a little community tab post about it. So it's been an absolute joy for me to be able to access areas of the internet that I haven't been able to geographically. And it's been perfect for helping me plan my stay and save money on travel and accommodation, which in this economy is a must. I've also loved the ability to use Surfshark on multiple devices. We are a family of 3, so we have access to phones, laptops and computers, and more often than not we are using more than one at any given time. With Surfshark you have one account, but you can use it on multiple devices, which means that it is just perfect for family life. So Surfshark One offers an antivirus and service that monitors your personal data at all times, which will alert you if you are at risk of your information being leaked. Surfshark One offers a premium VPN, search, which is an ad-free private search feature, alert, a data breach warning system, and an antivirus, which is an officially certified software. I've made this app so jam-packed full of amazing features so that feeling protected with your online security is available to everyone. So Surfshark One offers a VPN, so you're being able to enjoy your online adventures safely and securely with 24/7 privacy protection. You also have an alternative ID, so you can keep your personal data private by creating a whole new identity online, which includes setting up a proxy email. With this, you can shield your information, avoid data leaks, and keep your inbox spam free. Also have the Surfshark antivirus, which is a powerful antivirus which protects everything, including your camera and files. With this, you have peace of mind 24/7 that nothing bad is happening with your online storage. Surfshark One also offers an alarm that will sound off anytime your ID, your bank, or your personal data is being leaked online, which is an amazing, incredible feature. This is an absolute lifesaver for me at home because I'm so busy with the daily operations of family life that I would have no idea that anything had gone wrong unless it had been alerted to me. If you would love your own online invisibility shield and want to secure your privacy online with Surfshark, enter the discount code Amy Robinson right here for 4 months extra, leaving all links in my description box and the code Amy Robinson. And if you don't like their service, Surfshark will refund you your money in 30 days. So thank you so much for Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. Please go check them out. But let us just get on with some people that really could learn to protect their inner peace and protect their secrets a little bit better than what they're doing currently.
She's like, no, my intention was to get likes and clout. She admitted that to me.
So I'm just going to work my way through. We're going to be doing like Whitney as a whole, Whitney and Taylor, and then Whitney and Demi and their whole hospital visit situation, the truth box, just all of that, and why I'm still not siding with her, despite what some of TikTok is trying to make me think.
I think I'm switching from Team Demi to Team Whitney. After listening to last night's podcast, the squeeze.
The thing is, with opinions, everyone has them. Everyone's got a different opinion. I don't feel like my opinion has changed too much after watching Whitney. The Squeeze is what the podcast is called. And they do a lot about mental health. I'm going to be honest, I knew that they had a podcast, never really watched it. They have disabled their comments. I don't think this is due to backlash. I reckon because their channel is about mental health and being nice, working through things, all of that good stuff, leaving up comments that would be speaking negatively about Whitney is kind of going against what their channel and their podcast is really about. That's just my own personal opinion. Whitney says straight off of the bat that it wasn't even the swinging video in the pilot that they were talking about. It was actually about a different video, and that actually Whitney doesn't feel ill will towards Taylor whatsoever, and she finds it confusing that people are interpreting it like that. Really has no ill will towards Taylor, and she doesn't resent her for the swinging thing.
Starting from the very first episode, the very first scene, at least that I'm in, that's actually from the pilot. And the video that we're talking about is not the video of the scandal. It's a completely different video that Michaela and I got upset about because Taylor and Macy had made a video, or Taylor mainly did, so many Taylors. Taylor did, and Macy was in it, insinuating that Macy was the only one there for her during this swinger scandal. So that upset me and Michaela, because we did vouch for her and we got hate because of it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even that big of a deal. It really wasn't. Mm-hmm. But it makes it seem like I'm upset about this whole swinger scandal. So when I'm doing this press and they're asking me about it, I'm like, oh yeah, like not a big deal. Maybe if I was involved, I would have thought differently, but whatever. Like it gave eyes to my page. Like so then when I'm saying that, they're responding to me like, this is so confusing. Yeah, that's not the video that I was upset about. I think that she's grown so much from it and I'm happy for her. But yeah, didn't judge her for it. Yeah.
Interesting to note that a couple of times, in fact, the truth box situation is another prime example. There were times where Whitney would kind of jab at Taylor because the internet wasn't as forgiving with Whitney for what she did with her baby in the hospital video as they were with Taylor, who was swinging.
So the forgiveness that Taylor got during that time of her whole swinger drama that I feel like I didn't get.
Wait, forgiveness for what?
Just like the RSV video. Everyone was so quick to forgive Taylor online for swinging. I just feel like I still get shredded to pieces almost every single video.
I'll say this once, I'll say it again. You just can't compare the two. The swinging thing, especially listening to what Taylor has to say about it, just you can't even compare that to what Whitney did, where she decided to do a TikTok dancing video in front of her incredibly sick child. You can't compare them, but Whitney would bring this up. And Macy and Taylor and her are all close now, and I kind of can believe this because her and Macy were already close. They were the closest ones. No, Taylor does comment on Whitney's stuff a lot and people get really confused as to why. I can believe that they've sorted their differences out. She does address the fight that she's had with Demi. She addresses this and she says that one of the darkest moments of the show was, you know, when they were at dinner. She had the toilet roll stuck to her leg. It was following the incident where Demi had turned around and told the rest of the group that Whitney had told her when they were doing some ketamine therapy. I'm going to get onto that in just a minute. Basically disclosed to her that she had done that hospital visit for views.
That scene where I have like toilet paper on my heel and we're all at that dinner. I like couldn't compose myself because right before that, Macy had asked me if it was true. And I just couldn't believe that I'm a human being. Like, I just couldn't believe that regardless of you telling the other women that you had brought that on a national television show. It's obviously still hard to talk about. But I think if Demi knew how dark that moment was, me being under that treatment and how hard that was for me and vulnerable that was for me, I don't think she would have shared it. I really don't. But I also know she was angry with me because of me telling Jen about the two Mormony and the white trash thing.
Whitney was very upset about this because she said that she had told her friend that in a moment of, you know, vulnerability, especially if you're coming off of drugs. Am I really stupid? I know what ketamine is, you know, like the drug, the horse tranquilizer, very common kind of street drug around here. Is that what they're talking about? Because I'd never heard of ketamine therapy before. About ketamine. Am I going to get demonetized for this? Because whenever anyone brings it up, they say it so sort of like, yeah, and we do this ketamine. Is it like a controlled way of doing it? So it kind of puts you into that hallucinogenic state. Is that what they're talking about? Because I really have no idea. She literally starts crying and I then feel sorry for her. If we could back this up, me would not have told the rest of the group that.
Like, no, my intention was to get likes and clout. She admitted that to me. I've never heard her say that.
It was after their ketamine session.
It was after our ketamine
Yeah.
session.
And I did ketamine about 8 months ago, which is therapy for physical trauma or emotional trauma. You are feeling things very deeply. Truths are coming out about yourself that you maybe wouldn't otherwise admit. She admitted to me that video that she posted was for sympathy, likes, clout, and for recognition and to gain her following.
If it hadn't been for Whitney turning around after they're playing their little truth box thing and saying to Jen and Taylor that Demi had said that Taylor is white trash and that I think it was Jen was too Mormon-y.
And then I guess don't be my friend.
Okay, I don't want to be your friend. If that's the way you're going to be, that's not a friend.
Did you not just call Taylor white trash? Were you planning on addressing that to Taylor?
No, but was that your place to say?
It wasn't.
And you don't care. You don't give a shit. I wish I could say I'm surprised by Whitney's behavior right now.
The thing is that Whitney then in this podcast disclosed that she wasn't even there when Demi had said this. So this was second-hand information. It isn't even vaguely your story to tell because Demi didn't tell you and you weren't there to hear it.
Bringing up when I told Jen that Demi had called her too Mormon-y and also that Demi had called Taylor white trash. I willingly did that, which I wish I didn't.
So that is something that you wish you could take back.
Absolutely. I wasn't even there when Demi had said that about Taylor. And I wasn't even the one who initially told Taylor. But I had found out and I brought it onto the show.
So Whitney basically just conjured up anything that would hurt Demi. Demi was obviously hurt by this and then decided to go, well, if you're going to do that to me, I'm going to hit you even harder. Which, is that a grown-up thing to do? No, that isn't a grown-up thing to do, but I know what emotions feel like, and I've been in those situations where you're overcome with rage at a person, and all you want to do is just, I feel like we've all experienced that. Whether or not you would then decide to, unleash a deep, dark secret depends person to person.
I have a right to be upset. I'm frustrated. I'm confused at where Whitney stands, and I thought we were friends, and that's not what a friend would do. I feel like you don't even care about mom talk outside of posting.
Just because I told Jen what you said.
I didn't telling everyone's everything.
I didn't say
Okay, does anyone else want to chime in?
We'll hear information, and she gets close to certain people, and we kind of felt like it's a rotating door. And it kind of feels like there's different people that get to be close to Whitney.
What's he upset to be? I don't think she would have done that had that not been the situation, had Whitney not have said that. I'm extremely upset because she got a taste of her own medicine. I'm also confused as to why Whitney thought that this would be a massive expose for Whitney, because, anyone could have guessed that she did that video because she wanted either sympathy, views, or likes, because why would you upload it? And it wasn't just that video either, okay? She also did another one when her kid had jaundice, which, if I can get it, I'll play it. She's done a couple of these videos, so I'm just thinking, why else would you upload it unless you wanted clicks and views and likes? Would you think that this was such a shocking thing for us all to know? We knew this. This is the reasoning why we were upset with her in the very first place, because we knew that she was doing it for clicks and views and likes. She's not wanted to admit that, and now the truth has come out, even though we already knew that was the truth. Furthermore, okay, none of that would have happened. Her deepest, darkest time on the show wouldn't have happened. Demi and her falling out to that extent wouldn't have happened. Jem wouldn't have known she's too Mormon-y. Taylor wouldn't have known that she's white trash.
I thought we were friends. So when you didn't show up, I was like, it was a big deal.
Well, I don't regret anything. I'm glad I told Jen.
Sorry, I just had to put on a jacket. I'm freezing. None of that would have happened had there not have been this truth box of truth game.
Okay, everyone, I brought a truth box. I'm hoping we are able to share if there is existing tension, that we're able to be honest.
Demi, did you ever say that Jen is too Mormon?
I have said that you bring it up in conversation a lot.
I feel like now you're notorious for doing this for a lot of people, calling Taylor white trash.
If you're gonna take a jab at me, then I'm gonna call out you for your stuff as well. Ask you to take off your dress in front of my boyfriend.
I'm not the freaking swinger here. I'm not the one that's going around trying to seduce other people's husband.
For this game would have been
Interestingly, people have been pointing out that around that table, okay, all of the girls had different coloured pieces of paper. Okay, they all had different ones, and you can see them writing it down. Now, granted, maybe they were fake writing and the producers had actually written it. Whatever. We don't know that. But Whitney isn't saying that isn't the case. So I'm going to go with the fact that that was actually their own inputs. If you look at the piece of paper that Whitney was writing on, and then look at the piece of paper that was then read out, blue. She was the only one with blue. And on that piece of paper that was pulled out, it was a question to Whitney asking, you still with me? Asking, is Whitney jealous of Taylor? Are you jealous of Taylor?
Jealous of the forgiveness that Taylor got during that time of her whole swinger drama that I feel like I didn't get.
Wait, forgiveness for what?
Just like the RSV video.
Which then led to Whitney then reading herself a question that she wrote herself about, is she jealous of Taylor? Which then led her to go and start talking about the hospital video. She wanted to talk about it, maybe to set the record straight with the audience, but all that happened was that the girls got into an argument. It is stupid to be jealous of the fact that she was welcomed back in after the swinging incident, because swinging in itself, it's just you can't compare the two. It's not her only bad bad taste videos. She did the jaundice one, and I'm pretty sure she did another one as well. Also, I completely forgot to mention that one of the most important parts about this is the reason why Demi, you know, even more likely to lash out, is because Whitney turned up at this Galentine's event and decided to announce to the public about this sexual act that Demi and her husband did.
Dumb.
She hates it.
Like send out 80 texts like talking about like the intention behind the night. That's fine. It's fine, Whit. I laid out the intention clear as day to all of the girls that this was not a trashy bachelorette party. Thing that she was trying to make light of and make a joke was something that was completely intimate and off the table that was between Brett and I, who wore to each other. We would never tell a soul about that. I just think it's below the belt.
And Whitney in the podcast turns around and she says, no, actually, I cleared it. She says, well, Demi's reaction was really confusing because I'd already spoken to her about it.
But another thing that happened was, it's actually kind of funny, or at least I try and laugh about it, but the Fruity Pebbles incident, I had called Demi ahead of time, asking if it was okay. I knew that that was a sensitive and very private sexual innuendo between their relationship. So I called her and I asked her, and they thought it was funny, her and her husband. So the reason I'm upset in that episode is because she reacted in a way that she was offended.
Now, in what context though? Because there's a really big difference between lightly bringing it up as something that you heard that was funny and kind of glossing over it, to making it a really big part of an episode, which it was, and then also bringing a box of Fruity Pebbles. I don't think for a minute that actually happened, because Demi's reaction was really out of shock and kind of disgust at this whole thing. What I'm trying to be getting at is the fact that that whole thing was a sequence of events that Whitney had manufactured. As soon as crap hit the fan, she then got very upset and wondered why everyone was annoyed at her. Any stuff that we see on camera. Now, allegedly, she did actually go and apologise to Demi, and she regrets ever bringing that, you know, up. She regrets ever trying to hurt Demi like that by saying that she said those things about her friend. She regrets that, and apparently that was not shown. She does say, which I found really interesting, she does say, you know, we have free agency on the show. We're not forced to do anything we don't want to do. I mentioned in my last video that I did on the Kardashians, I really like reality TV. I admit it. I'm Amy Robinson. I really like reality TV. There is a show in the UK called Made in Chelsea. When I'm talking about Made in Chelsea, I'm talking about like literally the very first few seasons. There was this ex-cast member, and she was in the earlier seasons, and she was called Francesca, and she is telling a story of when she was on Made in Chelsea, and there's this really famous in reality TV sense shot of her getting into an argument with this cast member called Victoria. Victoria basically turns around and calls her a fat turkey, which is a horrible thing. I know it sounds funny, it does, but she actually opened up on this podcast how that destroyed her.
I mean, honestly, it's Christmas.
She has been calling Victoria a prostitute.
At least I said it was expensive.
I'm just defending my friend.
Sophie, this isn't your row. This is.
It is my best friend.
It's not your fault.
Stop being a bitch.
Open your fat mouth, you fat turkey.
She then wanted to leave the table because they were sat around this great big thing. And she says that she literally had one of the producers or like one of the camera crew holding her legs down underneath the table. To her, like, go on, say something, like egging her on so that she didn't just get up and leave, because that would make good television.
I was so shocked that she'd actually called me fat on, you know, being recorded doing it, that I tried to kind of get up because I just wanted to leave. You know, when you just want to run, you're just so humiliated. There were 20 people around the table, and then the room was full of cameramen, producers, sound men. I thought, oh my God, I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out. And I tried to get up, and there was a producer under the table holding my legs down. I get why she wanted to keep me there, because she was like, it's your turn. It's, you know, say what you want to say back. But I just Like, I just wanted to get out the room.
This does just go to show that in some reality TV settings, they will almost force you to do things. And I'm not saying that that is a common thing, because I don't know if it is or not, but you do hear about stuff like that happening. So I did think that that was quite an interesting take on it, because listening to Francesca talk about her experience versus Whitney, and I know completely not even in the same country, but I do think it's very interesting when you're looking at it from a reality TV smoke and mirrors element. I don't really fully know what is scripted, what isn't, what the producers want you to do, what has been edited out. You have no control over that. Whitney's case, I think, as much as I feel bad for her in the fact that pretty much most of her friends have just gone no, and she probably felt very isolated. Now, some of the other cast members did actually speak out. This was Demi's post right up here on TikTok, and a couple of the cast members responded to it.
Our response was the best response.
I'm trying to sit here mute as I'm attempting to.
So Layla said, I have no words, truly. Demi said, I have so many, but some things are better left unsaid. Michaela says, speechless, truly. And then Demi puts the clown faces. Commenter said, please don't stay mute, we want the tea. Demi says, not worth the energy, honestly. Other commenter commented something that makes perfect sense. Nobody is going to come out until season 2. And Demi said, someone gets it, ha ha ha. And Jessie says, my queen. So it's very obvious that these ladies are still not on great terms with Whitney. I can imagine Whitney will probably be back for the next season. This is what she has to say in response to it.
Goodbye.
But when will I see you again?
Oh, never, never.
Never?
Well, maybe someday.
When? Tomorrow?
Oh, no.
All just respond in sound bites. So it's trying to get what they're trying to say out of the sound bites. But is this all very childish? Is this all very childish? Of course it is. Do I enjoy watching the carnage of it? Yes, of course I do. But I'm going to be first to admit it. It's extremely childish. It's very much, you know, she said this, so I said that, so we did that, and now we're falling out because the chain of events. I'm not 100% sure where my ending video went, but thank you so much for watching today's video. I'm so sorry. I honestly have no idea where that video even went, but I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.